Hey everyone, welcome to Verse Up. You just heard a portion of Chop Suey by System of a Down, a hard-hitting track about judgment, self-destruction, and forgiveness. In this video, we'll explore both Chop Suey and Deer Dance, a fierce protest song that calls out police brutality and the militarization of peaceful protests. Here's how it goes. We'll start with a short clip, then break down key vocabulary from both songs. After that, there's a quick quiz and a recap story to help lock in everything you've learned. Let's jump in. The first word we're looking at is grab. Grab means to take or seize something quickly or roughly. For example, if you're running late for school, you might say, "I had to grab my backpack and run out the door." Or if you're in a rush to eat before a movie, you could say, "Let's grab some pizza before the show." In the song, grab gives a rushed, almost mechanical feeling to everyday actions, like someone is just going through the motions without really thinking or feeling anything. The next word is makeup. Makeup refers to cosmetic products people use to enhance or change their appearance, like foundation, lipstick, or eyeshadow. In English, when talking about applying makeup, we usually say put on, like, "I need to put on some makeup before we leave." Or talking about actors before a show, you could say, "The crew helped them put on their stage makeup backstage." In the song, applying makeup is a metaphor for hiding emotional or physical pain, covering up the scars to present a normal face to the world. Speaking of which, the next word is scar. A scar is a mark left after a wound has healed, but it can also represent emotional wounds. You might hear someone say, "I still have a scar from when I fell off my bike." Or, emotionally, the divorce left deep emotional scars. In the song, the scars symbolize past trauma or emotional struggles, and hiding them suggests the pressure to suppress those deep personal wounds instead of dealing with them. That brings us to the phrasal verb fade away. Fade away means to gradually disappear or become less noticeable. For example, over time the sadness began to fade away, or the ink started to fade away after years in the sun. In the song, the idea of fading away represents erasing or numbing the pain, again highlighting the theme of avoiding real confrontation with inner struggles. Next is shake-up. A shake-up refers to a sudden disturbance, change, or a radical reorganization that usually causes confusion. If your workplace suddenly changes management, you might say, "There was a major shake-up in management last week." Or if your team at work changes suddenly, you could say, "Our team had a big shake-up after 2 members quit." In the song, the shake-up points to emotional turmoil, sudden inner chaos that the person is trying desperately to cover up or make disappear. And finally, we have fable. A fable is traditionally a short story that teaches a lesson, often with animals. But in modern or sarcastic use, it can mean a made-up excuse or lie. For example, you might say, "He made up a fable about why he missed the deadline." Or, thinking back to childhood, "I loved reading Aesop's fables as a kid." Here, calling something a fable suggests that the person is creating excuses or false narratives instead of facing the truth. Another layer to the theme of denial and emotional suppression in the song. The first word here is commend means to entrust something to another person's care with deep trust and respect. For example, if you're trusting someone with your pet during a trip, you might say, "I commend my dog into your care while I'm away." Or at a funeral honoring someone's life, you might hear, "We commend his soul to eternal rest." In the song, commend is used in a line taken directly from the Bible, specifically Jesus' last words before dying. "Father, into your hands I commend my spirit." It reflects surrender, trust, and the heartbreaking moment of giving up one's life or soul after enduring suffering. The next word is spirit. Spirit refers to the non-physical part of a person, their soul, emotions, or essential self. You might hear it used in a speech about resilience like, "Even through hardships, her spirit never broke. Or, when discussing life after death, someone might say they believe the spirit lives on after the body dies. In this part of the song, spirit represents the very core of a person, and handing it over shows deep exhaustion, despair, and a complete emotional release. Finally, we have the word forsake. Forsake means to abandon, leave, or give up on someone, especially when they need you the most. For example, if you felt betrayed by a friend, you might say, "I felt like he had forsaken me when I needed him most." Or, in a dramatic novel, you might hear, "The knight forsook his kingdom to follow true love." In the song, forsake echoes the words of Jesus on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me?" It expresses a deep feeling of abandonment, betrayal, and spiritual loneliness, a powerful emotional climax where trust feels completely broken, whether by a father, society, or life itself.
A loving Creator who has promised never to leave nor forsake us, who will forever be by your side, as I am today, George.
Well, since I'm doomed to die on this forsaken island, I, Melman Mankiewicz, being of sound mind and unsound body,
First up, we have to circumvent. It means to find a way around an obstacle or to avoid rules in a clever, often sneaky way. For example, if a student finds a loophole to submit an assignment late, you could say he circumvented the deadline by emailing it to a different professor. Or talking about taxes, you might hear, some companies circumvent tax laws by setting up offices overseas. In the song, Circumventing Circuses criticizes staged media and political spectacles that distract from real problems. The circus symbolizes chaotic, fake events, and circumventing them means refusing to be tricked or distracted. Next is to lament. It means to express deep sorrow, grief, or regret. For example, after a breakup, you might say, "She lamented the end of their relationship for months." Or, talking about lost traditions, you could say, "Many lament the disappearance of small, family-run businesses." In this section, lamenting in protest captures the emotion of grieving while fighting back, showing pain and injustice not through silence, but through loud, public resistance. Then we move to protest. A protest is a public demonstration expressing strong objection or disapproval. For example, you might say, "Thousands joined the protest against police violence." Or, "Students organized a protest demanding better facilities." In the song, protest isn't just political, it's deeply emotional. It's about turning pain and frustration into action, especially against things like police brutality and government control.
Battalions of riot police with rubber bullet kisses. Baton courtesy. Service with a smile.
Now let's talk about battalions. Battalions are large organized groups of soldiers, but it can also describe any large disciplined group. For instance, talking about a sports team, you could say, "Their fans marched into the stadium like battalions." Or about a sales campaign, "The company hired battalions of salespeople for the campaign." In the lyrics, Battalions of Riot Police paints law enforcement as a military force, showing them not as protectors, but as overwhelming agents of control. Following that, we have riot. A riot is a violent public disturbance caused by a crowd protesting or rebelling. You might say, "The city was shut down after the political riot," or "The fans started a riot when their team lost." Here, riot connects directly to violent clashes between citizens and authorities, showing how riot control forces can escalate violence instead of preventing it. That leads naturally into riot police. Riot police are specialized police units trained to control crowds during protests or riots, often equipped with shields, batons, and non-lethal weapons. For example, you could say, "The city deployed riot police ahead of the demonstration," or "The concert was patrolled by riot police to prevent violence." In the song, riot police are shown not as neutral peacekeepers, but as oppressors, arriving in massive numbers, battalions, to intimidate and harm civilians. The lyrics also use sharp sarcasm with phrases like baton courtesy, suggesting that beating people with batons is treated like polite, routine service, and service with a smile, hinting that violence is carried out with fake professionalism or even pleasure. Finally, we come to rubber bullet. A rubber bullet is a bullet made of rubber or plastic, designed to cause pain or injury without being lethal, often used in crowd control. For example, you might say, she was hit by a rubber bullet during the march, or police are armed with rubber bullets to disperse crowds. In the song, "Rubber Bullet Kisses" is a darkly sarcastic phrase, calling painful shots kisses to expose how brutal violence gets normalized or downplayed. Even though rubber bullets are supposed to be less dangerous, the song points out that they still cause real harm, hidden under the false idea of safety and order.
Wake up! Wake up! Run, rush, and put a little makeup. Had to stress to fade away the shake up. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? Here you go, create another fable. You wanted to. Grab a brush and put a little makeup. You wanted to. Had to stress to fade away the shake up. You wanted to. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table? You wanted to. Circulating circuses, lamenting and protest to visible police. Present concert fear.
Man, when her parents split, it was a total shakeup, and by sunrise she had to grab her little mirror and put on makeup, hoping that old scar on her cheek would fade away. Over cereal, she whipped up a quick fable about a blown fuse killing her alarm clock, anything to keep her friends from asking too many questions and to steady her spirit. By afternoon, she found herself at the protest in the square, lamenting how politicians always forsake the people they swear to serve. Battalions of riot police rolled in, rubber bullets pinging off the pavement, but she slipped down an alley to circumvent their line. From there, she quietly commended her resolve to the cause, refusing to let the riot drown out her voice. Thanks for tuning in and going through today's vocabulary breakdown with me. I hope you learned something new and can start using these words in your everyday conversations. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to stay updated on more language tips, and share this with anyone who's looking to improve their English. Drop a comment with any questions or words you want to learn next, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep practicing and stay awesome.